Hey guys, Trevor here, TTT Archery. I've been getting a few questions about this, so I want to show you guys how to tie on an adjustable tie knock. So when I say adjustable, if your serving is put on correctly, if you rotate this tie knock this way, so that'd be counterclockwise, it's going to slide up the string. So that way, if you are a right-handed shooter, when you address, say you shoot 3 under, right, and you address the bottom tie knock, as you come off the string, if your tab puts any kind of a force onto this, it will try to slide up against the bottom of your nock. So let's say your nock was here, and I address the string. When I let go, there's going to be a little bit of a force to rotate that this way, right? It's going to be trying to rotate this direction. So if your serving is put on correctly and your tie knock is put on correctly, that force will continue to bump that nock up, nock set up against the bottom of your nock, and you will be able to keep that thing nice and tight all the time. It won't move on you. Your top nock set will never move, and you'll be good to go. So as you can see, I have one tied on right now. So this is actually my top nock set. So the measurement to the bottom, right at the base where my fingernail is on the string, is setting at 5/8. So this is a string I'm making for a customer named Jeff, and this is his first tie knock. So now we're going to put on the bottom nock set. And in order to do that, we're going to take a piece of .025 power grip. I like to use the same size serving that I use on the string, because if you use anything smaller, it kind of over time it can work its way in between the grooves and actually sink into the serving, which is bad. And if you use anything bigger, it tends to jump strands whenever you're twisting. So you want to use the same size serving. Now, I can go down to, say, .021 with a .025 power grip serving, and I'm okay still. So if you got a color that you like and it's just slightly smaller, you're okay. But anyway, let's get into it. So first thing we're going to do on this is we are going to lay this string across the top of our bowstring like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it. I'm going to make the right side a little bit longer, and I'm going to wrap it 4 times around the string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now at that point, I'm going to count back 3 wraps. So 1 wrap, 2 wraps, 3 wraps. And I'm going to create a little gap there, and I'm going to thread this string through that. You guys see what I'm doing there? Okay. So I'm going to pull that through like that, and I'm just going to kind of hold it there for a minute. Now on this side, to the left of where I just fed that through, I need to see 2 loops. So right now I got 1. I need to see another one. Okay, now you see there how there's 2 loops around the string to the left of where I just fed the end through. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to tie a simple knot here in these 2 pieces. So we're just going to go around like this. Okay, simple knot. Now the trick at this point is we have to feed this end, this right end, back through the same hole we just went through with the first end. So watch this. Right underneath it, just like that. And then what happens is the knot actually falls in underneath the string, and you can start to tighten it up. So now I'm going to push it together. Now this is really loose on the string, okay, and that's where I want it, because I still want to be able to slide this just like this. Now when you're doing these, here's the thing. Some nocks are more critical than others. This is a standard Black Eagle nock. Okay, this is what Jeff told me that he shoots. I went down to the basement, I found one, I'm a big fan of Black Eagle arrows, and I shoot a lot of them, and so I've got a small pile of these. So that was good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the string, okay, and I'm going to push this up against there and kind of get a reference. I'm going to start to tighten it a little bit. I'm going to push and tighten, push and tighten. Now I don't know that this is exactly where Jeff's going to keep his nock set, but here's the thing. If you get the spacing right in the beginning, if he does the same amount of twists on the top as he does on the bottom, that spacing will create him a good gap for his nock, and it'll come off the string real clean. So what I'm doing here is you don't want it so tight that this can't move, but you do want it up against there. I mean, because as you draw this string back, this gap's going to get a little smaller. So you don't want to squeeze it right off the bat. You want to give it just a little bit of wiggle room. So you can see this thing can just spin on this string. This is, this is a really good nock fit for this nock. So we pull the nock off, and now that we got our gap just perfect, I'm going to push this together the best I can. You can see on the back side all the loops are nice and clean, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of pull on these ropes and wiggle at the same time and tighten it down. And I'm going to get it pretty tight. Like, you kind of have to get a feel for this. If you go too tight, you'll literally never be able to move it, but you don't want to tighten it with your purse either, because over time they will loosen up slightly. So, the first time you move it, it's going to be really stiff, and then after that, it won't be as stiff. But it'll never, if you keep it good and tight in the beginning, it'll never slide on you up and down. These things, I've shot nock sets for an entire season of 3D and hunting, and use the same one and no issues. So you just got to learn just about what tightness is correct. So now I got my 2 tag ends here, and I'm going to trim this off. And again, this is another thing, you have to kind of learn how long to make these. You want enough to where you can burn a little burr, but you don't want them so long that you have this huge knot sitting there. So I'm going to trim those, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit them with a lighter. Now Halo works awesome at this stage where you got to burn the string, because it's got a lot of wax in it. This Power Grip doesn't have quite as much wax, so you got to be a little bit more careful, but you can do pretty good here. So let's burn one in and press it. So it's right after it burns, right after it stops, the flame stops, you got to press and make a little medallion there. Look like a little. Let me zoom in on that and let you guys look at that. You see how it's like a bump stop, right? So the string can't pull through anymore because I flared out the end of that string with my finger. Don't be afraid to get burned. It's not going to happen. It doesn't ever. Very rarely do I even feel any of the warmth, but you got to hit it right after you burn it down with the lighter. So here we go. Let's do the next one. Careful not to burn the rest of your string. Okay, so, and hold your breath so you don't breathe in any of that smoke. I'm not sure how good that is for you. So there we go. I'm going to try to zoom in a little more. So this is, camera's kind of losing focus, but there we go. So now you can see perfect, 2 perfect nock sets. And again, if I twist these counterclockwise like that, they'll move up the string, and if I twist them clockwise like that, they'll move down the string. So, alright, go try it out and let me know what you think.